Shout out to our affiliates, VeVe Digital Collectibles. Join the future of collecting with VeVe, where the world collects. Whether you're a die-hard fan, a passionate collector, or new to the world of collecting, VeVe is your gateway to premium, officially licensed digital collectibles, comics, and artworks from some of the biggest brands on the planet, such as Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and many more. Check out the affiliate link in the description box below, or use the QR code that you see on the screen for $10 off your first purchase.
Hey, what's up? We are back at it again. Oh, let's hit the yay real quick.
Yay!
This feels good. This feels good. Real quick, my name is Emojii. I'm here with my co-host and a very special guest in the building. You got to say something. You got to.
How's it going, everyone? Thanks for having me. You too.
OB freaking L. Yay, one more time.
Yay!
OBL, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm doing good, Moj and Magic. It is so good to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This is an honor. An honor.
It's good to have you. I'm glad you were able to join. I know this was something that we were trying to get to for a while. Oh, you know what? I'm so hyped. I didn't even announce the name of the show. My bad. Magic, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
This is another journey
From Toontown
to Tokyo.
Yay!
That's smooth, right, OBL?
That was
Like
excellent.
it was excellent. Okay, I appreciate it. I'm hyped. I like this is one of my favorite animes, right, of all time. And then on top of that, we got OBL reviewing it with us. So yeah, I'm excited. How are you guys feeling going into this? I know this is a wave of emotions. This probably will be a wave of emotions. Magic.
Like, who are you asking?
I'm sorry. Anyone.
I'm really excited, and I'm just really excited that we're doing this with OBL because I know that she's been into anime for a while, and we've been wanting to have her here as our guest. And I love anytime I get to hear her speak about something she's passionate about. So I'm really looking forward to getting her hot takes.
And OBL, this was, an anime that I recommended to you like a while ago, right? And I know you. Tell me about your anime journey because you've been watching it for a bit now, right?
Yeah. So, I got into anime. God, it would have been, I think when I was in uni, which would have been, I think it's like 2017, I think, first anime.
Wow.
And started off strong, I think, pretty strong in regards to like top 10s. Started with Attack on Titan, oh gosh, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay.
As well.
Magic, that's another one you have to watch at some point.
Yes, it's pretty excellent. I would do a rewatch actually. I think I need a rewatch because it's been many years.
Hey.
But yeah, sort of, and correct me of the genre. Is it shogun? Would they be considered like more
Shonen.
action?
Shonen.
Shonen. Yeah, so I definitely have lent more into like the action anime, but as well Death Note. Love the Studio Ghibli movies as well. So yeah, I actually think Spirited Away would have been my first ever anime watch, but obviously that's a movie. But yeah, through all of the Studio Ghiblis, and then those are the series that I kind of started off with when I was in uni.
Okay, awesome.
So yeah, and then obviously this Your Lie in April is a fantastic recommendation. Sorry, Demon Slayer as well.
Yay!
Yeah, it was really good as well. Emoji, you've been so flippin' helpful on the recommendations, so I appreciate you for that.
It's funny. it's funny because some of those shows we've actually even reviewed here. So Magic has seen some of them as well. But for this one, and for everyone in the audience, yes, we are going to be reviewing Your Lie in April. I know I had you watch this a while ago. Magic, obviously watched it more recently. This is one of my favorite anime. It is. Going into it, I'm going to talk to the audience about a little bit, what the story was like. But emotionally, like, how did this affect you guys? Because I think if there's one thing that I can say about this show, it is very emotional. But yeah, like just real quick, how would you say the emotional impact this show had on either one of you, Magic or OBL? Whoever wants to go first?
I'll go first. I think I texted you like, I don't know, about halfway through, and I was like, I hate you.
Me? What did I do?
It's like, I'm starting to feel things. I don't want to feel these things. It's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about this one, though, is I kind of saw where it was going with a lot of the other animes that I've watched. A lot of times I was like, whoa, didn't see that coming. Like, it was a little bit more on the mystery side.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I was like, oh, no, I don't like this. I don't like where this is headed at all. So yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster of emotions, and a lot of things that I feel are really relatable. A lot of the things that like the main character was going through and discovering was really relatable. But yeah, it was heavy. It was heavy.
That's a good point you meant. If you mentioned as far as seeing where it's going, because I think that this show, it does that. It paints the picture so you're dreading what's to happen, but then it gives you like little slivers of hope that maybe it won't, right? Which is the opposite of kind of like throwing at you something completely unexpected. But okay, all right. OBL, what about you? How would you say this hit your emotions? Because I know you had to watch it in breaks, right? Like you couldn't even watch it all straight.
Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't watch it like from start to finish. I watched, I think, the first half good few years back, and then took me, I can't remember why I took a break, but then watched the remainder of the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first half, it's definitely not as, it's emotionally impactful, definitely, but yeah, the second half is where it really gets into the nitty gritty of the emotion, and when the characters are like much more developed, and the relationships are much more developed, and the trauma is much more like free flowing, I think, towards the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I was saying, this is my first real, I don't know, would it be a drama?
Yeah, it's a drama. I mean, it's still shonen, because shonen is more so, shonen isn't really a genre, it's more so a demographic. It's who it's targeted, who the target audience is. So it still is the same target audience that a Demon Slayer or a Death Note would have. It's just the genre itself is different, obviously, because this is more I guess you could put it in the drama category.
I would definitely say slice of life. Definitely my first, with like the demons and with like the ghosts and the ghouls and the detective or the action. This is definitely my first experience of that kind of anime.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really nice. It was really refreshing. And it's really nice to see another side of the anime world.
Yeah.
That is more, that taps more into like teenage love, and obviously the trauma that all of us can experience throughout life, and and like Magic said, it's super relatable with the love triangle, and the loss of loved ones, and it was heavy, but it's like a the traumatically beautiful depiction of life, I think, and wrapped in with the creativity of the music and everything. It's a beautiful
funny
watch.
To bring up the love triangle, because I said that to him when I started watching it. And then I was like, hold up, this is like a love square.
You had love everywhere. Everyone was falling in love. This, that, and the third. But yes, there was a lot. Yeah. Yeah, people coming out the woodwork. But all right, are you guys ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for the audience, just to summarize it briefly, the show centers around a character. His name is Kosei. And it starts off, you see him, he has a extensive piano background, being a classical pianist, but not just any classical pianist, a child prodigy. And unfortunately, you know, like what can happen in situations where children are pushed towards success, you know, he was pushed to the point where it was honestly abuse. And it was his mother that was doing it. But the thing is she was also sick. And being at that age, I think Kosei was probably like, he had to be like, what, 8 years old or something like that, like super young, right? And he knew that playing the piano and doing good, especially at all these competitions, that was what brought his mom joy. And he figured that if he could do that enough, right, if he can be good enough, then not only would it make her happy, but it might even heal her, right? A child's thinking. Now, in reality, what happens is his mother ends up dying, and that broke him. He no longer wanted to play piano. He, you know, could no longer even hear the notes. It brought nothing but pain to him. So, you know, the story picks up with him already in middle school, right? So time has already passed. He's kind of throwing away the piano, and he's just living a regular life with his friends. Now, what happens is he comes in contact with this girl named Kaori, who is a violinist. But something about her attracts him, and he ends up kind of falling in love with music again with her, right? And that's the fun part, right? That's the part at the beginning. You're like, oh, like, you know, this is sweet. This is how it started, right? Because I know we talked about this show being a roller coaster, right? The romance angle of how it started, how was that for you? And especially now in retrospect, knowing, you know, where this path leads. But what was your initial impressions jumping into the anime?
For me, I liked seeing how this relationship was starting to develop. And I could see that she was going to be somebody that was going to try and basically heal him and push him and make him kind of fall back in love with music for the right reasons, that she just really wanted to be a support to him. And then you kind of find out like further down the series as to why she wanted to do all those things. I guess I don't want to jump ahead too much. But then you have the other girl. It's taking me a minute to like place the relationships, because you have this
Tsubasi
next door name.
Subaki, I think her name is.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm horrible. Anyone that watches the show, I'm horrible with names. I told OBL, look, if you butcher names, you're probably not going to do worse than me. But I do think it's Subaki. I feel like it's Subaki.
Yeah, so it was, you could tell very clearly like that she had a thing for him, and then now he has a thing for this other girl. And so that in the beginning I was guessing a lot like, how's this gonna go? Because I really liked the little neighbor girl, because she really cared for him. And in the beginning, because the blonde is a bit mysterious and it feels like there's secrets there, but you don't know what they are yet. I was like, does she have the right intentions? Like, what's going on? Is she just kind of playing with him? So I don't know, I was already like torn from like the beginning.
Well, she starts out, you know, claiming that she likes this other guy, Watati, right? His friend. Yeah. So, and it's so much that she doesn't even refer to him as Kosei. She refers to him as friend A. And it's funny because you were laughing about that, right? You were like, you don't even call him by his name. But OBL, jumping into it, right? Especially knowing where the story goes. Like, what was your initial impressions? Kind of like just seeing the first few episodes, seeing what was developing, like the setup and everything. Because you had mentioned like it started out, you were like, oh, this is like really lighthearted, fun.
Yeah, definitely leads you in to having like a false sense of security with where this whole story is going. Like, it seems like a pretty innocent and very relatable love square, like you say, magic. Yeah, the relationship between Tsubaki and Kosei. Does it kind of touch on how they were friends when they were younger?
They were. So yeah, Tsubaki and Kosei like grew up as like best friends. So you had that, you know, that relationship with them.
Oh, no.
But
yeah, so I think seeing that, they're kind of like brother and sister dynamic almost.
Yeah.
But then that kind of the extra entanglement of her actually fancying him and him seeing her as just like a little sister kind of vibe. But then you can, and then Kaori kind of comes into the picture and just complicates things, I think, for Tsubaki. I think there's like a bit of jealousy there.
Did you feel for Tsubaki?
I think I did, more towards the end. I think when she started to like open up about her feelings for Kosei, and I think Kaori would know the history, obviously, of Kosei, living so close to him and knowing the trauma he'd been through with his mom, and I think she knows most about like throughout his life, and so she maybe has like the most empathy for him, and you can definitely feel that in their relationship. But yeah, like it starts off complicated and it continues to kind of be complicated and pulling in all these different directions for all four characters.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So one thing that I really liked about this show is I found it to be outside of our, you know, I have a show that's about music, but also there is a lot of art in this show. And I mean, yes, the art is beautiful, right? But I mean, as far as just different layers, you have the music, right? But then you also have the fact that the narration, you know, and Magic, we've talked about this a lot with monologuing in anime, right? But for me, this is like my favorite monologues because the narration is all like in poetry. Like, I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but like the way that this story is narrated, you have lots of just, you know, poetic technique and you know, in the writing. But so as the story goes on, you start seeing, you know, some things unravel. You start learning more about Kaori and you learn that she's sick. The first time you see that is when they're performing together, which she kind of like forced him to do, but they're performing together and she passes out on stage. And now it starts, you know, diving in as far as, you know, what's been going on, her health issues, Tsubaki kind of like realizing how she feels about Kosei, or coming to that reality, and everything kind of starts spiraling to the point where you're seriously concerned about the health of Kaori. And I think, Magic, that's what you were saying as far as when you started, I guess, knowing the direction that the show was going.
Yeah, and I just there were so many things about it that bother me. I think one, that she was sick, and it's like, oh, she's finally getting somewhere with this kid, and like I want them to have their little happily ever after situation. But also this you know, pain I felt for Kosei. I'm like, you all really gonna make him go through this again? And like, is this gonna destroy his passion for music again? And I was just like, oh God, it's, you know, history repeating itself. And it made my heart like break for him more than anything.
Yeah. OBL, like, so what you had mentioned as far as you took breaks in the show, right? That was something that, so I did that. I did that. And I don't know if what you did it for the same reason, but I did it because I found certain parts of the show, like after watching episode after episode, I'm like, this is really heavy right now. Like I need to take a break and then come back to it. Not that it wasn't bad, not that it was bad or anything. It was just like, I found myself kind of like getting, you know, Yeah, with emotion. So for me, that's why, I kind of like took a break, came back, took a break, came back. I don't know if for you it was the same thing, but when this story started unraveling and you started seeing as far as, all right, Kaori is sick. Oh, snap, Kaori might die, right? And then you're seeing Kosei and how he's dealing with that. And someone had already started out with this trauma and now is getting hit with another, tsunami of trauma. How was that for you? Do you think that may have been some of the reasons why you took a break, or even just how the experience was for you?
Yeah, I don't know if it was like necessarily the depth of what was happening that made me take a break. I think it was just kind of life started lifing. I just kind of naturally sort of fell off a little bit. But yeah, jumping back in, and Magic, I share your sentiment absolutely. Like the way you said that you can kind of see where this is going, and the sort of reflective nature of what happened with Kosei's mom and what's now happening with somebody that he has chosen to kind of fall in love with, and reigniting his love for this passion that I don't think started out as a passion. But
I think it was more of an admiration, right? I think, actually, hold on, let me just jump in real quick, because there was a really important part, right, as far as why he admired Kaori so much, and then I want to hear what you were saying. But one reason is because when he was trained as a kid, right, he was known as the human metronome, right? His mom literally beat it into him to play the music as it is, as it appears on the sheet music. Do not deviate at all, right? But that's also why he was so good. But it was because he was so perfect. When she played what she felt, and she put her heart into it. And sometimes even with competitions, that she would get docked points for that, because she's not, following verbatim what was written, but she's talented, and what she's creating is, she's turning the songs into her own, and people couldn't ignore that. And I think with Kosei, that was something that stood out, because he's like, she's doing the exact opposite of what I was taught to do, but what she's doing is phenomenal. Like, it's incredible. And he, but yeah, so I'm sorry, that was it popped into my head real quick.
That's a great point, because it, like I said, the reflective nature of the two very important females in his life that, are surrounded by, connected to music, but in very different ways, and are letting Kosei experience music in very different ways. So yeah, to see that develop, and to see him kind of fall in love with music in a whole different way, with the help of this new mysterious woman in his life, it was kind of magical to watch. And also for her, the dynamic difference between like his mom's approach of, her dealing with an illness and encouraging him to play as it is, so you get it right, and you can you can make a job out of it, you can earn money, and you can be supported, you can support yourself whenever I'm gone, versus someone who's also in a similar situation, who's dealing with an illness, but takes the approach of using it for expression, and just making music with all of the life force that you have, and making it your own. And yeah, I thought that parallel was really nice.
For her.
Yeah, definitely use it as a therapeutic outlet for her. So yeah, that was really, really nice to see that develop, and to see Kosei eventually break his the chains of how his mom dealt with music, and embrace Kaori thought about music. So I thought it was really beautiful.
Yeah, and actually that's an interesting point too, because one thing that I thought was interesting is as he started, I guess, falling back in love with music and reflecting back on his life, even certain things changed, right? And specifically his relationship with his mom, right? At the very beginning, his mom was like scary, right? Like even the visuals that you saw of his mom, she looked like a zombie. Like she looked like a monster, like the art interpretations. But then later, especially when his mom's friend comes into the picture, right? Like, did you notice the flashbacks on the mom were completely different, right? The mom was depicted as more caring, as more concerning. You got more context as far as how she was feeling with dealing. And OBL, you touched on it, right? She was hard on him, but the reasoning behind it was because she knew that she was going to die. And she wanted to know, well, if I'm not here, how is my kid going to survive? It's going to be impossible for me to take care of him. And I want to make sure that he's taken care of.
That broke me. That episode where it kind of unravels and you kind of learn her thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
That was so big, guys. So big. But yeah, just to add on to that quickly, the actual visuals, the way they like depict her, like really I noticed it as well. They didn't show her eyes, like majority of the episodes. And then when they started to like tap into the more emotional side of her, you could see her eyes, you could see the tears, you could see like the real emotion in her face, which I thought was a really nice way of them to convey that, in the actual art of it. I thought that was great.
True. Magic, I have a question for you. So one of the things that I wanted to see, as far as get your take too, is because especially in something like this where it's highly competitive, right? You're doing this on a highly competitive level, and that comes with its own pressure and its own anxiety. And I know you have a background, when it comes to high competition, especially being an equestrian. Did any of this kind of like resonate with you? Did any of this like hit or did that part of it make you feel anything too?
Yeah, super relatable actually. Because I just remember, my parents wanted me to do it because for the love of it. But I remember there being like rules, like you will, do your homework, you will get good grades. If you do something naughty, like we will punish you by not letting you go practice. So it was kind of like almost the opposite, because it was something that I loved to do. But also that like pressure of on yourself, putting pressure on yourself, I related to, like, and it wasn't for me, it wasn't because it was for me, it wasn't for a parental figure, but like just putting in that practice and wanting to be perfect. And I really related also to the nerves when it came to performing. Because man, those are real, and that's where I also kind of like can gel with the monologues, is because all that stuff is just swirling on in your brain when you're getting ready to perform or compete. And so I was like, oh my God, this is bringing back traumas, because there would be certain times where I'd be at a competition and I was almost like not functioning, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Like, the point is that I'm supposed to be doing this because I love it, not because I want to be perfect. And I remember one competition getting like second or third in something and being really, really upset about it, and I actually got scolded about that. And my dad talked to me and was like, you need to stop like demanding yourself to be perfect all the time. That's not like, you're going to cripple yourself. So yeah, I was a little PTSD watching this show.
But it's funny because that was a thing that was like the things between Kaori and Kosei, right? Like Kosei always felt like he had to be perfect, and Kaori was kind of like, look, I just want to do this for fun, even if I lose points, especially that first performance, right? She was losing points left and right, but she had a good time, she had fun. And I think their two personalities helped, and it was specifically with her personality helping Kosei to kind of like, you know, enjoy it more as opposed to it being so, you know, regimented.
You know what's funny too is I'm seeing that now with my son, very, very much built like me, and he wants to do a good job, and he will be so hard on himself if he doesn't, like, he got second in the school spelling bee, and he was so upset, and he was crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, you did so good. And so I'm just like trying like to nurture him from a young age of not being so hard on yourself to be perfect, because God, it's so crippling when you're like that. But it's wild to see like the same thing happen with now your child,
Yeah.
and you're like reliving it all over again.
Yeah. Well, I feel you. All right, are you guys ready for the final act?
Yes.
Okay.
And
So, you know,
Oh
so
my God.
so you know, as we mentioned, the story sets up where you kind of like have a feeling of where things are going to lead, right? Kaori spends most of her time in the hospital, right? And they go visit her and stuff like that, but most of her time is spent there, and they're all kind of like reflecting on what this means. Now, there are times where you get, you know, glimmers of hope. And one of them, I guess the major one, is towards the end, where she wants to play with Kosei for this big event. And there's an operation that can be done that can ultimately cure her, right? But it's a very risky one. And if it fails, it will kill her. So she has to make the decision, well, do I kind of like live like this a little longer, but I won't be able to play, like I'm hospital bound, or do I take my risk and get this operation? And, you know, you don't, as the audience, you don't know what's going to happen, right? And if they play it out in this, and this is once again a testament to the artwork, right? They play it out, and you can see it actually in the, I have the panels up, in this thing where Kosei's performing, but he's envisioning playing with her, and you know, a constant line in this show is, did it reach her? Did my music reach her? And I'll get to that later, because I think that's a profound line. But he's playing for her while she's going through the surgery. And here you have it again, a situation where you can say almost he's playing to try and heal her, right? And once again, the surgery is not successful, and she ends up dying. I didn't know how Kosei was going to take it, right? Like the buildup of this happening again. And one thing that I thought was interesting is she left him a letter, and it pretty much was a letter confessing how she felt about him the whole time. She kind of kept it to herself because she didn't know how much time she had left, and she didn't want to, you know, lean into something that she didn't know if it could be. But it goes back to the title of the show, where her first introduction was saying that she liked his best friend, and that's why the show is called Your Lie in April, because that was the lie that she told. It wasn't his best friend, it was him that she was into the whole time. How did this magic, you know, when I talked to you briefly, you know, you said this affected you heavily. OBL, this affected you heavily. You know, I guess walk me through as far as feelings in going through this, because we talk about as far as anime being a medium of storytelling, a way to connect, and a lot of times people feel because things are animated, it may not have the same emotional impact that a live action movie has, right? But nonetheless, this was able to trigger heavy emotions from both you guys. So whoever wants to go first, but, you know, tell me a little bit about what you were feeling, kind of like going through this journey with Kosei.
I'll start. So one thing I wanted to mention too is I really loved that final performance that he did. I thought it was visually stunning, and it was very poetic, and just deep, just really deep. Yeah, so that was probably one of my favorite scenes from the show. And I was just so frustrated with both of them, especially towards the end when they would be having their like inner monologues of how they're feeling, what they're thinking, and I would be like, just say it to the other person. I'd be so mad. Like, don't keep all that in your head. Share it. Like, tell her how you feel. Tell him how you feel. And I understand that she kind of wanted to like protect him and sort of heal him because she couldn't heal herself. But at the same time, it made me sad that she didn't leave space for love for herself. I thought that was unfortunate. So that like bothered me. But yeah, it was a very unselfish love that she had for him.
Yeah, totally agree. And yeah, I think to say, kind of coming back to the reflectiveness of these two women and the impact that both of them had on Kosei, and to see him deal with, you know, mother's love is one that you're born into, you're born with, and you can't choose that. And for that to have damaged him so much, was just, it's devastating to watch. But then on the flip side, to see him choose to share these moments with this new woman in his life, and I don't know if that's a harder pill or like a harder situation to deal with, to lose someone that you've chosen to fall in love with. But yeah, to see him, like I thought as well, I thought he was going to fall apart. I thought this was going to completely re-destroy him all over again. But for him, I think when he read the letter, it's been a while since I saw it, but when he read the letter, and he got like that confirmation of her love for him, and felt like that gave him strength almost, to continue this journey without her, rather than him falling apart all over again, which I thought was really beautiful, that she'd, in that short time that they knew each other, that she'd given him so much emotional energy and like completely recharged his creative soul. So yeah, I think to see the situation completely flip on its head, was it was beautiful. Again, heart wrenching. I've never cried again. Like I said at the beginning, all the sort of animes I've watched have been like more, even like, you know, more action focused. This being the first drama, Moji. I know you did tell me that I was gonna cry, but I didn't know to what degree I was gonna cry. I think, Magic, what you said about that, I totally share the same favorite scene of when she goes in for the surgery. And then, is it like the exact same moment? He's in the competition and she's having the surgery.
Yep, same
and
moment.
And then it's like almost like she passes away, but then her soul is there beside him, giving him that strength, giving him the motivation, and it was beautiful. Yeah, visually stunning. I think this whole anime is visually so beautiful. But yeah, that moment at the end where you see them together and in like the ethereal sort of heavenly plane, and it's it was a lot. Beautiful.
All right, so we are getting to that time where we cast our reviews. of, you know, what we think of the show, what score we give it, you know, number 1 to 10, but also our review as far as, you know, just breaking it down, how it affected us, what we recommended. This is going to be interesting because Magic, you've seen, because of this show, I've recommended, you know, a few shows that have had an emotional story than action based. And OBL, this is your first, you know, anime that isn't there's no action in this at all, right? So I am interested to see both of you guys' takeaways from it. Magic comparing this to other things that you've seen, like A Silent Voice, and or Your Name, and an OBL kind of like this being something brand new. So real quick, I did want to say there's another name for this anime that I couldn't use prior to this because it would have spoiled it. But the other name for this anime that people will refer to it on the internet is You Die in April. But it's ranked up there as one of those like gut-wrenching shows. This and Grave of Fireflies is like one of the shows that's kind of like, yeah, it's gonna get to you. But who wants to go first on their review?
Magic, no?
I guess I can. I've been sitting here thinking about what number I want to give, and again, I need a decimal.
No decimals.
No decimals?
We're not allowed
whole
to
numbers.
decimal.
Whole numbers.
We're not whole numbers only. Okay.
Yeah. So, I think one of my only issues with it is I struggle with anime. They all having these filler episodes. It bugs me. Like, why was this needed?
The random 2 pianists that were introduced that I don't even remember their names. Yeah.
Yeah, there was just some filler in there that I'm like, oh, like I'm getting really into it, and I feel like that's detracting from like the storyline. But again, like, love the visuals in this show. Love the depth. There's so much depth. Again, like we've talked about, I like these shows that kind of go into the human psychology and how people work. And that was when I first started watching anime. That was something very surprising to me because I didn't know it was like that at all. So I really like ones like this. And yeah, it was a hard watch, but it's definitely something that I would recommend. Oh, the numbers killing me. I'm gonna be generous today. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Oh, snippy snap.
Yay!
There you go, a 9 from Otaku Magic. All right. I'm gonna OBL, if you're okay, since you are our guest, could I save you for last?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go, and then OBL, you can wrap it up with your review and score as well. So, Your Lie in April. For me, I'd say this is this is up there as far as one of my favorite animes of all time. And one of the reasons why is, you know, for those that know me, I am a musician, right? So I fully understand the impact of connecting with music and using it to connect to people. And that, going back to something I said I was going to revisit later, this reoccurring theme of did it reach her, right? Pouring your heart into the music, pouring how you feel into the music, and then wondering, did it reach her, right? And believing that sound and that feelings can travel through sound, and sound can travel through anything, distance, time, it doesn't matter. And I feel, once again, going back to the poetry of this show, I feel like it captured that perfectly. And, you know, kind of like to wrap it up at the end where he's playing, and, you know, he's playing for her. Obviously, they're in 2 totally different locations, but you felt it that she could hear him and that he was reaching her, you know. And ultimately, when she did pass, you know, she passed in peace, experiencing, you know, their final connection. And I don't know, like just the show touches on a lot, but it takes you on a heavy emotional journey. You connect to the characters. The characters are very likable. And when they go through something, you feel like you're going through it too. It is a show that you know, be ready for, be emotionally ready for. But I think that if you want something that's going to touch you, if you want something that's going to mean something to you, this is definitely a solid watch. This is an example that shows how anime is literally just a medium of storytelling. A lot of times when people tell me, oh, they're not into anime, my first reaction is, well, maybe you just haven't seen something that you're into yet, right? Because to me, anime is like reading books. It would be like if someone said that they're not into books. Well, what type of books have you read? But yeah, I feel like if you're into drama, if you're into romance, if you're into anything that's going to affect your heart, this is definitely a must watch. But just be warned, it's an emotional roller coaster. My score for this, I'm going to give it a solid 10 out of 10. As I said, this is one of my favorite animes of all time. So yes, I'm going to give it a 10. And last but not least, we have our guest of honor, OB freaking L.
Yay!
OBL,
Oh
the floor is yours. No pressure.
Oh, no pressure. Okay. Yeah, okay. Like I said to you guys, this was my first venture into a romantic, traumatic drama, slice of life, I think you referred to it as, Moj.
I think it could go in there a bit. I mean, a slice of traumatic life, but yeah, slice of.
Amen. But it's life, you know.
Majin would
life
love
full
this.
of these moments, you know. And I think anime is really good at conveying that part of life. That it isn't always, you know, rosy in the garden. Everything doesn't always end up the way we want, the way we expect. And yeah, I think all of the anime I have watched so far, I think has done that so well. I think it, as a medium, does that really well. But yeah, this one hit hard, guys. It hit hard. It had, with the range of the roller coaster nature of it, like being so heartfelt and so, like, Moji, what's the, you know, the way they and they do this in a lot of animes as well, like a humorous moment or like a bit of comedy,
like the gag portions, like, and the animation will shift and change. Yeah, it'll shift to like more like silly little chibi kind of characters, or like get the emotion, the comedy across in that way. I love the way anime does that, because it kind of breaks up breaks up the flow and comedic relief. It has comedic relief.
Yeah, comedic relief, exactly. And this show is no different. It does that really well, like when you're hit with a really heavy duty episode and then it's able to kind of make it a little bit lighter through the animation style, I think is super cool. But yeah, it hits home in lots of different ways. I'm a huge fan of music as well, and like the therapeutic nature of it, and I have experienced, like yourself, Magic, the competitive nature of it, and like how much emotion that can draw up in people as well. It's so polarizing, can be polarizing, and I think this show frames that, frames it beautifully, and then the relationships that are also tied in with it. It's just, I think the pacing of it is really lovely as well. It doesn't feel too rushed or too drawn out. I would agree though, Magic, with some of the filler episodes and like some of the characters that are like kind of just there to stretch it out a little bit and kind of give you a bit more insight and depth into, I guess, the characters' backgrounds. But yeah, some of them I don't know yeah, they're not as memorable as like the main.
Yeah,
four
those two pianists
characters.
were kind of like, I was like, what's the point of them being in here? Like the one with the spiky hair and the girl, if you remember
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
I think that kind of leans more into for me, it led more into the competitive nature of this classical music world, and like
Yeah.
the impact it can have on friendships and the impact it can have on like the people that you
Rivalry.
are inspired by, and rivalry, and yeah, all that sort of thing. So I kind of guess, yeah, kind of lent into that a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was needed as much, but I can see why, you know, they wanted to add that. But yeah, fantastic recommendation. Thank you, Moj. But also, you've scarred me for life.
I'm sorry. Well, don't watch Grave of Fireflies. Majin may try and pressure you.
Dude, I have seen it.
Oh, you saw it already?
Please. I've seen it, dude. I've seen it.
I was telling Magic, this is like that movie's probably like 10 times worse.
Oh, Magic. Oh, no. Are you gonna watch it? Do you think?
I'm scared. I don't want to.
Just be ready. Don't watch it at a particular time of the month. I will recommend that.
You gotta watch it in the most happiest moment of your life, like because you have to balance it out. So you gotta be super happy and then watch it. Don't watch it if there's anything wrong that happened that day. Like I don't know, like don't watch it that day.
Disneyland for 2 weeks. The day after you watch the show. No joke. But yeah. I'm gonna share my review is the same as Magic. So I'm gonna give it a 9.
Hey, there we go.
Yay! You know, one thing I wanted to mention really quickly. Another thing that sort of like broke my heart in this show was finding out that like she was in love with him since she was a child, basically. Like she watched him play piano when he was the child prodigy at 8 years old or whatever it was, and just was infatuated with him, and he didn't even know that like she existed. And I also really loved that.
Well, he was the one reason she picked up violin, right? Huh? She was the reason that she picked up violin, right?
Yeah, and that was the other thing I was going to say is the one thing that I did like though about them bringing in these other characters is that element of sometimes you not understanding. You're so focused on the reason why you play or your perfectionism or whatever that you don't realize your impact on others. And these other, yes, they were highly competitive and not very nice, but they wanted to be like him. It was their own insecurities of why they treated him poorly is that they ultimately had a major respect for him, and as did she for you know, her love for him. And then I did like though how she took her, like she thought out how she was going to get him to notice her and picking up the violin. And then, you know, it was like this big show when he comes to meet her in person. And so I really liked that towards the end you found that out, and it kind of like, I don't know, just something about it I really liked, but at the same time I thought it was really sad.
Yeah.
This whole time you liked him?
No.
Yeah,
and like admiring him from afar all those years, and not like having the courage to just go up and say hi, and like once she had to come up with this like elaborate kind of story. That was a beautiful.
Well, that made it more interesting too, because you know then you no longer looked at her as just some girl that came out of the blue, right? Because you know, comparing her with Tsubaki, right? Tsubaki was around him the whole time, his best friend throughout the whole time, but she also admired him and was inspired by him, right? From an early age too. So both of them had a very sincere interest in him, right? And I think having her backstory in it kind of helped even more so. I'm going to ask you guys a question and put you guys on the spot. Are you ready?
Oh gosh.
Okay, so here's the question. Are you team Kosei Tsubaki or team Kosei Kaori?
That's not nice.
No, it's horrible.
I don't like that question.
Oh, I think I would say I think I'm gonna do the traditional because I think I know Tsubaki loved him like a brother. I think when they were younger, and then it kind of developed into something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for Kosei, it kind of stayed as like a brother-sister sort of love
Relationship
for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from his perspective anyway, I think it stayed that way. But yeah, for Tsubaki, obviously it kind of developed and got complicated for her. Maybe she loved him, from when she was younger as well. Maybe I don't know if that was communicated.
I mean, she cared about him. She cared about him. But also remember, Kosei's oblivious. Kosei didn't even know that Kaori liked him until she wrote the letter and pretty much blatantly told him. So he's kind of like
And
Amen. So yeah, for that reason, and I do feel for Tsubaki. Obviously, I feel for her, and she, kind of gets dragged through the emotional ringer. She has that. I think she has a boyfriend that she kind of liked, and felt like it was a bit of a cover up to kind of get over. Kosei, right? And it wasn't it wasn't super genuine and all that. So she went through it. I feel for her, but I think for me, Kosei and Kaori were
Team Kosei Kaori.
Yeah, meant to be together, I think.
Magic.
Yeah, that one's hard for me too. I'm in agreement though with you, OBL, because it's more of, it's frustrating because they never knew how each other felt, but we do as audience. And it was just and then I actually really loved it even more, the two of them, when I found out about the whole loving him since like he was a child, and having admired him and been inspired by him. Like that made me like their relationship even more. At the same time, like there's a part of me that's like, now that she's gone, like this the neighbor best friend, she's potentially going to be there to like, pick up the pieces, and it was like where the story would lead now into the future. Maybe they do find their that they belong together or something. I don't know, but yeah, I agree. Team
Kosei Kaori.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe one of the reasons why she didn't kind of like admit to him the truth earlier and kind of pretended it was Watsuki that she liked was if she was following him, right, and kind of like paying attention to him, she more than likely saw Tsubaki always there at his side as his best friend. Do you think maybe that she didn't want to step into that relationship and let that be, and maybe that's why she kind of went under the pretense that she liked someone else?
That's a good shot.
Yeah, I think potentially that was part of it.
That's a good shot. And them being so close from when they were so young as well. And if Kaori was watching
that in the letter too.
I feel like she might have. I feel like you saw it more.
I think he mentioned that I can't say these people's names.
Tsubaki
loved him. Yeah, and I even thought something like, that she gave him some advice in the letter, like.
I think so. Yeah. I think you're right. Like you're right. Yeah. So, I mean, but that makes me kind of like Kaori even more because, she's looking out for him, first and foremost, because obviously she would have loved to, be with him, especially the final moments. Yeah. Touching show. All right, so we have our reviews in. I want to say, OBL, this was a pleasure. I'm glad you were able to join us for this one. I want to have you for more, especially now that you've been on an anime binge of just watching a lot of things. So we definitely got to get you back on the show.
Oh, I'd be honored. And thank you guys so much. I just think that this, and listen, fair play to Magic. I just want to give you a huge shout out as well, because I know that you're the most passionate Disney fanatic I've ever met, and I just respect that so much, that you just have such a pride for the thing that you're passionate about. And I know Emojii has seen and loves Disney as well, but for you to take this leap of faith and to trust Moj and to be so open-minded to trying this whole new medium and experiencing, you know, a completely new way of storytelling and animation, I just think, yeah, it's just huge props to you for giving it a go, and for being so willing to listen to this guy, you know, all about it so much. But no, I'd love to come back. Yeah, there's a good few that I've really enjoyed, and yeah, need to be watching more. I'll need an updated list. Moj, again, I get an updated list every couple of months that I'm able to dip into, but yeah, guys, thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Awesome. All right, so as we wrap up, closing words. Anyone have any closing words before we close down the show for today?
I think OBL closed it beautifully.
She did.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll end it at that. Everyone tuning in, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This was another one. Hope you guys get to check it out. My name is Emojii. I'm here with
Magic
and
OBL.
Oh, be freaking hell! And this has been another journey
from Toontown
to Tokyo. Until next time, take care, be easy, and peace.